Hello, hi, and welcome to Political Quickie, your political show that subjectively discusses current affairs in South Africa and all around the world. My name is Mapasika Mura, and yes, this is a breaking news Political Quickie on the expropriation of land without compensation. Now, the last video that I did on the land issue was about 2 months ago, and that's just after President Cyril Ramaphosa endorsed the policy to expropriate land without compensation. So quite a lot of things have happened since then. Parliament has adopted a motion led by the EFF to amend Section 25 of the Constitution, which is our property clause. Now, Section 25 states that land can be expropriated on two bases. Number one, with compensation, and number two, to the benefit of people who are displaced by racial laws that were passed post-1913. So the whole point of Parliament wanting to amend Section 25 is so that they can expropriate land without compensation. And of course, the basis of that is that they're trying to redress injustice that was done by both colonialism and apartheid laws. So the motion passed by Parliament does two things. Number one, it instructs the Constitution Review Committee to propose reviews to the Section 25 in terms of how that can be amended so that we can expropriate land without compensation. And number two, it wants to amend Section 25 with the foresight of government being a custodian of South African land. Since the EFF is the one that is leading the pack in terms of the land issue, let's look at their policies on land. So one of the 7 non-negotiable pillars of the EFF is the expropriation of land without compensation. So the EFF wants to expropriate all South African land without compensation from both black and white people. That's contrary to what international media is reporting, and nationalize that land. According to a discussion paper dating to 2014, an EFF discussion paper, they stated that houses that belong to people and residential land will not be expropriated. However, when it comes to residential property, those owners would have to apply for a lease spanning 99 years. So that is, basically where they stand, and that if anyone wants to use land in South Africa, they would have to apply for a 25-year lease and state exactly what they want to use that land for. So I 100% am with the whole let's expropriate land without compensation. I absolutely agree. However, I don't agree with the nationalization of South African land. I think number one, our government is corrupt. Number two, our government has been incompetent in terms of dealing with the whole land issue in the first place. What I think should be done, however, is that some of the land should be socialized and some of the land should be nationalized. I think the land that should be socialized is the likes of District 6 and Sophia Town, and those people should be able to own that land themselves. The state should not be a custodian, but those people should be able to own it and it should belong to them. However, I do think that, a piece of South African land should be nationalized, and that will sort of deal with foreign investments. So anyone who wants to invest in South African land, they can lease that land from government directly. However, government should not dictate how South Africans use the land that they've been given, the one that has been socialized. I think that in a democratic state, the government should give us a say and should allow us to voice our opinion. Not just, voice our opinion, but I think that there should be a referendum on this whole issue, whether or not we want to socialize the land or whether or not we want to nationalize the land. I think that'll be a pretty fair procedure on how to do this. So yes, give us a referendum, let us vote on whether or not we want to nationalize or socialize, because we do not trust the government with that land. No, but we absolutely 100% want to expropriate land without compensation. So I can't wait to see what happens next. I know a lot of people are wondering, are we on the brink of a revolution? No, we're not. We are in the middle of a revolution. The South African Revolution started in 2015 when South African students took to the streets to protest for free, quality, and decolonized higher education. That is when it began. And right now, this whole land issue is just a continuation of that. So remember that a revolution is not an event. It's a process. And we are in the middle of that process right now. So I can't wait to see what happens next. That was Political Quickie. I love you guys. Use your talents to serve humanity. And I will see you next week. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.